Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you what a day of exam preparation looked like for me. So I started off my morning with some breakfast and then I sort of just eased my way into the work. So I think it was about 8:30, nearly 9 o'clock. When I filmed this video, it was about a week before my exams. So what you see me doing here is I'm just cleaning out my space and removing everything off my desk because for this semester, I had to take my exams over a software called ProctorU, so someone basically watches you while you sit the exam to make sure you're not cheating. I had to basically get rid of all my books and stuff on the walls so that I could do the practice exam and simulate the exam conditions to make sure everything was okay. There's my empty desk in its full glory, and you can see a massive hole in the middle of my desk, which got there from moving houses. I actually don't know how it happened, but there's that, and I usually just put my laptop over it in videos so you don't see it. And then here's me just doing the practice exam. It was really weird. The person takes over your computer mouse and changes your settings and stuff. Very big invasion of privacy, but that's what we had to do for our exam, so I guess there was no way around it. So after I did that, then I actually got into doing some work. I think it was about 10 o'clock now. So the way I structured my day was basically I chose one of my subjects and focused on that for the majority of the day. Today I was doing histology revision, which is for one of my anatomy subjects. For this subject in particular, I had a practical exam and a theory exam, so there were multiple different ways that I went about my revision. I did Anki flashcards for the prac, and then I also did active recall questions on my Notion for the theory. As it was 1 week out from my exam, I focused a lot more on active ways of revising, so I did a lot of practice questions. I tried to recall a lot of things rather than doing passive writing notes, because a lot of that stuff I already did throughout the semester, so now I could just practice applying my information and recalling the knowledge to see where my knowledge gaps were. What we're looking at here is my Excel spreadsheet that I made as an exam revision planner. When it comes close to the exam, I sort of just play it by ear and decide to do the topics that I'm finding the hardest. On this Excel spreadsheet, I basically just track the different ways I wanted to revise for that topic. So if I wanted to do flashcards, whether I wanted to recall it, and then also I highlight which ones I found difficult when I first tried to do active recall, just so that I can prioritize different topics that I'm finding hard. If you want a full video breakdown on how I actually set this up, then let me know in the comments down below. Right now it kind of just looks like a big green blob of things that I've highlighted in, but it does really help me to structure and plan out my revision. Microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments. Microtubules made of tubulin, alpha and beta dimers of tubulin. There's 13 that are circular. They arrange like a rope. Circularly arranged dimers of alpha and beta tubulin. Give one example of where microtubules are used. The cilia. Cilia is made of microtubules. In mitosis, they have the microtubule things that hold the chromosome. Cell mitosis, cell migration, the cell mitosis, and also flagellum, microtubules, in the neuron carries the electrolyte it's along the microtubules self-generation. Yes, so mitosis, microtubules, citrials, or microtubules. Yes, citrials, they're arranged in. Okay, so that might have just sounded like a lot of gibberish to some of you, but what I was doing was I was basically just running over the content and doing active recall on Notion through the toggle list function. Most of the time I will just say the answers out loud because I find verbalizing it also really helps me to remember it. Sometimes I'll write it down, especially if it's a process or a diagram. Drawing it really helps, which you can see me doing here now. But either way, both methods really work well for me. I find just saying the answers out loud a lot faster as well, so I can get through a lot more of the content faster. Either way, you can just do whatever method floats your boat. A lot of the time when I'm doing revision, I will change things up for different topics just because I feel like it. I have a general structure, but I don't worry too much about doing the same thing for every single subject or every single topic. And then once I was like up to my third lecture of active recall, I was getting kind of bored, so I was listening to some music while I was doing it. Probably not the smartest thing to do, but you know, needed something to motivate me, so I was doing more active recall here on a connective tissue lecture and jamming out to some tunes. Okay, not about to get copyrighted, so here's more of me doing Notion. Enjoy!
Macrophages are immune cells. They're phagocytic. What organelles do they have inside? Lysosomes, because they need to degrade.
Whilst I'm doing the active recall, it kind of just sounds like I'm talking to myself, but I will answer the questions, but then also try to like think out loud and like verbalize the process of how I got to a certain answer, just so that logically it makes sense in my head and I'm not just like rote learning and memorizing it, but more trying to understand the topic. I then decided it was time for lunch, so I whipped up some food and watched some Grey's Anatomy, because what is new? So after I had my break, I went back to doing some work, and the most shocking thing ever, she's not doing active recall on Notion anymore. I found these multiple choice questions online on a website called Histology World. So these were just random questions I found online to practice with. They weren't like specific to my course, but with a lot of the time with uni, you don't get given past papers. So I sort of just like source out to the World Wide Web and find my own. Notion really helps me to learn the content, but then I find if I overdo it too many times, like if I do it 4 or 5 times per subject, I sort of just like memorized what order things are in and like the types of questions that I've written down. So I spice it up a bit and find some online that help me to apply my knowledge, and yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Okay, so I realized this video is literally me just like doing active recall on Notion for like the whole day, but that's basically all I've been doing. So for this anatomy subject, I've done, this is my 7th lecture for today, which I think is pretty good, pretty decent. It's like 2-ish, jokes, it's literally 250. It's 250. I usually take like 40 minutes per lecture just to like make sure I've got all the details. And yeah, so the one I'm doing now is on skin. This morning I did one on the nervous system. I did the cell biology ones, and then connective tissue, and also respiratory. So that pretty much took up my whole day, and then I did those multiple choice questions as you just saw, and then in about 10 minutes I have my final tutorial for this subject, just to like consolidate everything, and like it's our last one before the final exam, so yeah. So that will be helpful in just reviewing everything and all the prac images and stuff. So yeah, that's basically the haps, nothing much else. Sometimes if I'm feeling like it, I will put this desk up to stand, but at the moment I'm just going to sit because I have a tutorial, don't really want to be standing for that. Yeah, what I'm doing now is on skin. I find like doing the spaced repetition, especially for lectures that are really long, like this is a lot faster way to cover the content. So I did write my notes like during lecture, and then wrote these active recall questions throughout the semester, so now I can sort of just practice and go through each lecture pretty quickly, and yeah, that's the benefit of doing it throughout the semester. So that went for about an hour, and then today I was kind of just really tired, so I did one more thing to end off my day of revision. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this anatomy subject had 2 exams, a practical component as well as the theory. For the practical exam, it was mainly identification, so identifying different histological tissues and maybe the function. Usually this exam would get carried out in the lab under like the microscope, but since it's online, it was mainly images, so I did a lot of sourcing of images through Google and just other uni websites that had slides as well, so I could practice identifying structures on tissues that I didn't know or like hadn't seen before. So that's what I'm doing here. I just collated it all onto a document on GoodNotes where I was like writing down the key structures to each tissue. And as I wanted to make this an active process of revision, I did most of it from memory and then filled in the gaps with the textbook or the website, and clearly dancing at the same time. And to be quite honest, once I finished that, I had dinner and didn't really do anything else for the rest of the night because I was really tired. So that's that. If you made it to the end, comment the word croissant, because why not? That is pretty much what most of my days looked like leading up to the exam, but now it is done, yay, and I'm on holidays now, so just chillin'. Let me know in the comments down below if you liked this video. Also, please give it a thumbs up because it really supports my channel, and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!